Let's get Mick in the corner. I'm here every Tuesday and Thursday from 8 p.m. I've got to get this right. I'm sorry, guys. I need to get Mick in the camera. Mick has to be in the frame. 1 second. Oh, it's going to fall. I've got a real feeling this is going to fall. Right, hold on. There we go. There we go. We're back. I'm here every Monday. I'm not. I'm not here on a Monday at all. I'm here every Tuesday and Thursday, 8 p.m. Tuesdays are my request evening. Thursdays are when I like to bring my own story to you guys. Let me just fix that. I'm still fiddling. Hey, I knew you were first. I seen your message come up. So I am live. So what I tend to do is I have a chat with the guys in the comments. Then I start my story. Once I start, I don't stop. And then I have a chat with the guys in the comments after. If you don't want to do that, if you want to join my Patreon, it's patreon.com/Jess Rose 5472. Oh, why do these come up? Sorry, I'm muttering. Do you know, I mark it off. Don't message and come through. It draws me mad. But yeah, if you want to join my Patreon, it's patreon.com/JessRose5472. Or just come and join us. Come and join us in the comments. They're a great bunch. Hey guys, hey Phil. It's Warwick. Hey Warwick, how you doing? Hey Tiff, hey Hayley. How are we all this evening? How are we doing? We had a good weekend. Oh, what did I do? What did I do at the weekend? It was a quieter one this weekend, because I've had some mad ones. It's quite a quiet one this weekend, just a few games of pool, and go, oh God, if that doesn't stop. Do you see messages coming up? Can you see them? If you can't, it's fine, but if you can, it's driving me mad. They keep coming up. I'm in a group, a school group, and it's just... They're back at school now, so there's just message after message after message. It drives me. You can't say, oh, that's okay. So it's just going mad for nothing. Okay, that's fine. Hi, everyone. We're all good. We're all good here. But yes, like I say, if you are watching tomorrow, I'm here on a Tuesday and a Thursday. You can hear buzzing. Can you? Ooh, wonder what that is. Is it Mick? Is it Mick? I wonder, is it Mick? Sorry, someone in my life said they can hear buzzing, so I'm just trying to... I don't know what that is. Is that any better? Is it Mick? Is Mick buzzing? I don't know why he's buzzing, though. Oh! Is that... I thought you meant just in general. Oh, okay. I know it's not a rabbit. It's not. It's not. I haven't even got my spray bottle tonight, so you can't even say that's what I'm doing. Oh, okay. That's what you can hear. So I've just messed with Mick for no reason, but he's back. He's back in his spot on the camera. Do you know how I have to... On camera, it looks like he's just sat in the corner, minding his business, not bothering anyone. In real life, he's right here. He's right in my eye line. It's very annoying, but I love him, so he has to stay, old Stevie Mick. So, yeah, what did we say? Did we say we did anything good at the weekend, guys? I'm waiting for Kelly as well, because it's Kelly's night tonight. Using your habit, fixing your mind. I can clearly hear the buzzing. Do you know what it is? Okay, all right. If you, I'm kind of glad you can't see the messages coming through. They're just from a WhatsApp group. At the same time, that'll be what the buzzing is. So if you start hearing buzzing, it's just that there's a message. I'm not doing anything. There is nothing dodgy going on here. I promise. I promise. I'm not doing a dodgy one on live. Cut my arm earlier. Fixing the puff for my stuff. I'm feeling very sorry for myself. I did. I was like, oh. Anyway. So, yeah. Tonight's one is Kelly's. It's just, she's not messing with Mick. Uh, I'm not messing with Mick. Mick, stay. Oh, God, it's a good start. Elbow's not too bad, Warwick, thank you. It's not too bad. I can slightly see it rising again. Hey, Mum, how you doing? What? I've just been asked about my elbow. But it's not too bad. But I've got a feeling he's going to come back because it started to rise a little bit. But it's okay for now. Thank you, Warwick. See, did you not notice I haven't been throwing my elbow at you in a while? It's not been too bad. The last injection was good, but I can start to see it rising again, and that's not good. Because I don't know what I know. It's normally my jingle that does it, Mum, when I do this. That normally hurts it. I know. I know. They started making me mess with Mick, Mum. Telling me it was buzzing, but it wasn't. It was messages coming through, and I started faffing about with Mick. Poor Mick's been thrown around to know he has. But he's all set. He's all looking cute in the corner, so he's fine. Can't wear the headphones anymore either. I can. But it really hurt my ears on the... I thought it was the earrings, but it's the glasses. So you're going to have to do it without the headphones. And the reason I'm saying that is I can't hear how loud I am. So you're just going to have to let me know if it gets too much, because I actually can't hear myself now. So you're just going to have to just turn your volume down. Just turn your volume down a bit. And that should help. That should help matters. Where's Kelly? I can't start the story without Kelly because it's her evening. So we need Kelly to join us. Otherwise, I'm going to have to start. Oh, am I? Is it really loud? Should I turn it down a little bit? Let's try and turn it down a bit. That's just me talking, that is. I'm not trying to raise my voice. I'm not raising my voice. It's just I don't need Mick. I don't. But I like him. I like the setup. I like the whole, what you call it, the aesthetic with my plaque and my Mick. It's just what I like. I just see the headphones did it as well, but they're just too awkward. I don't know how people deal with them, especially if they've got glasses on. Anyway, are we all okay? Are we all going to be good this evening? Do we know this one? Bet you do. We heard the buzzing. Stop. Do you know, Mum, it was messages coming through and they're all insinuating it was a buzzing from elsewhere. It wasn't. It was messages coming through. They are terrible. Have you heard of this one anyway? It's all very loud. Is it that bad? I'm not even meaning to be loud. It's because I haven't got the headphones on. I've turned it down a bit. Is that better? I've turned it down a bit. How's that? Is that better? Talking quieter. It's got to be all right now. Not that. It can't be that loud. Surely. It's not intentional. It's just my voice. I can't help it. My children are the same. I don't know what it is. Maybe we're deaf. Maybe we haven't got inside ears or something. Or outside ears. Whatever it is. I'm missing something. So that's where it comes from. That's what I'm blaming. I'm blaming my inside ears that I'm missing. I'm not shouting. I'm genuinely not shouting. I'm not shouting. I'm genuine. Is that better? I'm not shouting. So, there we go. Once I start the story, I calm down a little bit then. So, maybe that will help. Maybe that will help matters. So, I'm going to have to start, aren't I? Because we're 10 minutes in. I still haven't started. So, Kelly, maybe she'll catch up. I'm using my inside ears. But it's not... I'm using my inside voice. It's not intentional. The mic's down as well. That's the worst part of it. The mic's actually down. Just turn your volume down a little bit. Okay. Should we just start? Has anyone heard of this one? You can't have missed this guy. You can't. The Deadpool killer, Wade Wilson. He's been absolutely everywhere, everywhere. Even as Kelly mentioned him, I remember it was a little while ago and I was like, I've seen him. I didn't know much about him. Ugh, God, this guy is just the worst. He's just awful. Have you not, Hayley? You've got to have seen him. He's trying to... It's not that bad. It's not that bad. He's the guy, lots of tattoos on his face. And he's done like I don't want to put my nails up. I didn't do my nails, so it's all a bit mismatched. He's sort of done like a Chelsea green in a tattoo, but he hasn't done it right because he's done a tattoo round his mouth as well. He should have just done this part, and he's just awful, awful looking guy. You got to have seen him. He's everywhere at the minute. Apparently, there's women throwing themselves at him because he's just such a babe. God, I never even use that word. I never even use that word to describe somebody, and it just suits. It suits these women that are writing to him. It's just, it's embarrassing. Oh, it's just sickening. Oh wow! I'm gonna share it with you now. Then I'm gonna share it with you now. Okay, should we start? Because I don't know where Kelly is, but maybe she'll catch up. She'll catch up. I'm sorry, Phil. I'm so sorry. I'm not trying to damage your hearing. I'm genuinely not. Okay, I'm going to start. Maybe that'll bring my volume down. Maybe that'll reduce it down a little bit. Okay. So, this is a very long one. Was a very long one to research. A lot of details that you may have heard of, but I don't think... If I'd have put everything in this, in the sense of... I know it is, Phil. I know, I'm playing. If I'd have put everything, every detail into this that's out there, because it's just gone viral everywhere, we'd have had to have... What is I coming to shut you up? Funny. Let me concentrate. Anyway. So if I'd have put... if I'd have put all the details in that I've come across, I'd have had to have done a part 2. I'd have had to have stretched it over 2 nights, and I thought a lot of it is just ridiculousness about him. So I thought I'll sum it up. I'll sum it up at the end. But all the details themselves that you need to know, obviously I've got that in there, I believe. But just some rubbish about him. I'm just like, ugh. No, we don't need that. Well, that's... Anyway, I'm going to start. Because I'm rambling now. We're going to begin, and I'm going to phase out. So if you're watching tomorrow... I'm gonna start now. So, okay, here we go. The Deadpool killer, Wade Wilson. All right. So, on the evening of October the 6th, 2019, what you're gonna hear a lot of names to begin with, and I know it'll get a bit confusing, but I'll keep redoing them over and over so you can get to grips with the people I'm talking about. But there are a few names at the very beginning. So we go to the evening of October the 6th, 2019. And there's a lad called Jason Shepard. And Jason is from Fort Myers in Florida. All right. Now, Jason lives about 10 minutes away from a bar called the Buddha. Okay. So the Buddha is a club that hosts sort of live music. It's favourite with the locals and visitors. It's supposed to be quite a good club. From what it sounds like to me, it sounds possibly like a bar with different rooms in it. From the description I've got some people talking about it. So it doesn't seem like just one bar. It seems like there's an upstairs and a downstairs and stuff like that. That's what I've got in my head anyway from it being described. So Jason, he like I say, and he lives about 10 minutes away, and he goes with a friend of his to the Buddha. I hope I pronounced that right. Is it the Buddha? Is it the Buddha or the Buddha? I think it's the Buddha. I think it is. So he goes with a friend of his, but his friend doesn't stay very long. She leaves after an hour or two. But Jason decides to stay. Okay. He knows people there. He's quite comfortable. He's having a few drinks. So he decides to stay. So shortly after Jason's friend leaves, right, a lad comes up to him at the bar and starts talking to him. Okay. And the lad introduces himself as Junior JR. That's what he introduces himself as. He's got no reason to question it. So, Junior is what he's calling himself, but his name is actually Wade Wilson. All right? Why he's chose to lie, I don't know. But that's what he was calling himself in there. But no, his name is actually Wade Wilson. Now, Wade, who's 25, he had arrived at the bar. Okay, so at this moment, you had Jason and his friend. Jason's left. I'm not going to call him Junior anymore because that just confuses everything. Wade. So Wade has introduced himself to Jason. He's talking to him. Wade, though, himself, he's turned up at the bar with his girlfriend, Melissa, who is called Mila. So we're going to call her Mila. And her friend, Amy. All right. So Mila had driven and she's got like what's it called? What's her car called now? If you bear with me, a Hellcat. A car's worth about 80 grand. Don't know anything about cars. Don't know what a Hellcat is. Apparently it's worth a lot of money. Okay. So she drives that car to the Buddha. She brings Wade, her boyfriend, and her friend Amy with her. Okay. When they get out of the car, she's got 2 phones on her where she keeps her cards and stuff like that. She's also got a key. She hasn't brought a bag with her. So she passes her keys to Wade and she's like, can you put them in your pocket? So that's what happens. However, when they get in there, Mila and Amy sort of are chatting and stuff, and that leaves Wade to kind of drift off, and that's how he starts chatting to Jason. Okay, let me do a quick recap. We have Jason now talking to Wade. Wade is there with his girlfriend Mila and her friend Amy. All right, that's where we are so far. Okay, so Mila and Amy, like I say, they end up going to another part of the bar. Wade doesn't leave, doesn't move into another part of the building with them. He stays with Jason. They're talking, you know, just having a chit chat as you do when you're drinking maybe at a bar. So nothing much in it. Anyway, they're getting to near the end of the night now. All right, so about 1 o'clock. And Wade has bumped into 2 women. And these women are called Stephanie Johnson and Christine Milton. Okay. Now, what had happened is Stephanie and Christine, who'd got an Uber to the bar because they were drinking, They were just having a good night, these two girls were, just having fun. And Stephanie says that as she was going upstairs to the bar, so this is what I mean, I think there's bars in different part of this building. As she's going upstairs, like a bloke just sort of appears in front of her. She said she thought he looked cute and he looked charming, and he was like, "What's your friend's name?" Straight away. So he's obviously talking about Christine. And Stephanie kind of pulls her back and she's like, "This guy is asking about you." Apparently it was a whole thing that he had dimples and he was very cute, and Christine was like, interested straight away. So let's not forget that Wade still has his girlfriend in this bar with her friend. They're still there. But now he's standing at the bar where he'd originally met Jason. And not only is he talking to Jason, he's now talking to Stephanie and Christine. And showing quite an interest in Christine. It's all very odd, okay? So like I say, Christine's immediately attracted to him and they're talking. It does seem like Jason and Stephanie are kind of wing woman and man in each other. Just while these two get on, that seemed like what was going on. So as the night was ending, it was coming up to about 2 o'clock now, there was an after party planned to go on back at Jason's house. Remember, I said he lives about 5 minutes away, 10 minutes away. And Wade goes up to up to Mila and Amy. Remember, Mila's his girlfriend. And he says, "Come on, we're all going back. We're all going back to Jason's." He doesn't know the guy, but we're all going back to Jason's. And I know what my reaction would be. I genuinely do. I know exactly what my reaction would be. And we'd be on here for a very different story. But Mila just decided to say, "No, I'm fine. I'm going home." And Amy's going. So rather than going, "All right then, fair enough, come on, we'll go," Wade goes back over to Stephanie, Christine and Jason. He's like, "Let's go." So now remember I said Stephanie and Christine, they got to this bar in an Uber. Okay. So when they came out, I've got something in my eyes. Sorry guys. I feel like I've just had something flow into me. So when they get outside, Wade's like, "Come on, we'll go back in my car." Now, if you remember, it's not his car, it's Mila's car, but he's got the keys. So the four of them, Wade, Jason, Christine and Stephanie, all get into Mila's car. And as Amy comes out of the bar, she sees Mila stood in the car park just watching her car drive off. And Amy's like, "What the hell's going on?" And she's like, "He's just drove off in my car." And Amy quite rightly is like, "But he can't drive." Now, it's an American thing, obviously, and they're like, "He can't drive a stick." I'm assuming that means a manual. But it was Jason that was driving the car. It's the oddest thing. It's all a really weird thing that went on. So Amy consoles Mila and she says, "Come on, you can come back to mine. You can stop at mine. Sort it out in the morning." So Mila, the girlfriend, and Amy, they get in an Uber. They go home. All right? That's that. So now, Jason pulls up outside his house and he's got Wade, Stephanie and Christine in the car. They go into Jason's house. Jason's mum's on the sofa. It's gone 2 o'clock in the morning. They're quite loud. And yeah, Mum's not happy. Mum's not happy with this setup at all. But it brings them in, and the girls said they tried, Stephanie says she tried to make small talk with Jason's mum, but she really weren't happy about the whole situation. So, um, they leave the living room where Jason's mum is, and they go into Jason's bedroom. And it says that very, very quickly after they walk into Jason's bedroom, Christine and Wade start to get carried away, let's say. Let's keep it PG. But yes, they get it on in the bedroom while the other two are there. So Jason and Stephanie, who remember aren't really that interested in each other, they're doing this for their friends. So they go outside into Jason's back garden, and he's got a trampoline and stuff, and they just sit on the trampoline and they just talk, just waiting for their friends to finish, kind of thing. Wade and Christine at some point walk back out into the garden, have a bit of a chit chat with them. They go back in. So they're like, oh, come on. Anyway, it's all getting a little bit noisy. Jason's mum's getting really annoyed. Jason, by this point, he's got work in the morning. It's getting really late. It's chugging on for like 5 o'clock now. He's like, look, you've got to go. You've got to go. You can't stay here. It's too late. You've got to go. So now we have Jason, who's asked them to leave. So Wade's like, okay, fair enough. So Wade gets into the car. Now remember, he can't drive a stick, as they call it. And Stephanie and Christine everyone's very drunk. They've been doing various drugs. I believe it to be cocaine. And he can't get it out of reverse. He's on this lad's drive. He can't get the car out of reverse. He must have felt like such a div. So as he's revving the engine outside this guy's house, it's a residential area. So the guy's coming out, he's getting really annoyed. He's like, just go. So in the end, he kind of drives them down the hill away from his house, and then he goes back. So that's Jason. It's Jason's input in the story. Jason goes home. That's it. So now we've got Wade, who's driving, trying to anyway, with Christine and Stephanie in the car. So Christine's like, let's just go back to mine. Let's go back to mine. It's getting late. By this point, it's like 5:30. It's been a long night. So they go back to Christine's, and they're there, and they're sort of chilling, they're chatting and whatnot. And anyway, Stephanie's like, look, I've got to take my son to school in the morning at 9 o'clock. I've got to get into work for 10. I've got to go. And Christine, feeling quite comfortable with Wade, it's like, okay, that's fine. Go on then, that's fine. So Christine said, she didn't feel concerned at all. She thought it was fine. So she gets an Uber and she goes home. That's Stephanie. Now we're down to 2. We are down to Wade and Christine that are left in Christine's house. Okay? So Mila, I remember Mila, Wade's girlfriend, she, like I say, had gone back to Amy's and she'd gone to sleep. Must have been fuming, but she'd gone to sleep. When she woke up, she noticed that she had a load of missed calls and messages from a number she didn't know. She didn't know this number, but loads and loads of missed calls. And when she's looking at the messages, she's working it out. It's got to be Wade. So in the end, she phones him up and she's like, look, I don't care what happened. I want my car. I want my car now. So he says, give me the address. He didn't know Amy's address. And Amy said that she could hear Mila looking around for some post to get the exact address to give to him so he could come round. And she shouted out and she says, Mila, no, I don't want him at my house. You're going to have to go and meet him. My son's here. I don't want him here. So Mila's like, right, okay, fine. She goes, come and meet me at Mila's spa. Now, Mila's spa is obviously her own business. When you see the pictures, there's like a car park, and then you've got like businesses around the outside of this car park, and she goes, meet me there. All right. So Wade turns up, but he turns up in a different car. He turns up in a black Nissan, not her Hellcat. That's apparently 80,000. I don't know. I don't know what these cars are, but apparently it's very expensive. And he turns up in a different car. And she's like, what the hell are you doing? So she sort of comes over to the car. He winds down the window and she's like, look, just give me my keys for my car and go. Tell me where it is and just go. I want nothing more to do with you. Perfectly understandable. And she she's very upset, and he goes from trying to talk her into getting into the car so they can talk to starting to get quite irritable, starting to get quite angry now because she's not listening to him, and she's saying they're finished and she's not letting him explain. Well, I don't know what he could possibly explain to her, but he was getting annoyed. He had the audacity to be annoyed at her. So when she was trying to walk away from the car, because she had no intention of getting in there, he reaches out and he starts trying to pull her back. Well, as he's pulling her dress off. Look, he's ripping her dress. That's how hard he's pulling her and how hard she's trying to get away, to the point where he actually gets out of the car, pulling her dress. As she goes to run, he pulls her hair. He's pulling chunks of her hair and extensions and everything out. Next thing you know, he starts beating her. And you see her, like, she's 5'2", she's tiny, he's a 6'3" guy. He's a big lad, and he starts laying into her. So in her description of it, she says she knew people would be able to see because it's 10 o'clock in the morning. There's businesses all around. She knew all she had to do was play for enough time until the police would get there. She was very sure that someone would phone the police, and she was right, because just sort of where her business is, just here, there's a lawyer's office. And the boss heard her girls turn around and go, oh my God, he's hitting her. And when the boss came over to the window, she could see that, wait, they obviously knew Mila because they're in the same sort of complex. And she phones the police. Anyway, as she phones the police, she comes out of a building, she shouts at him, leave her alone, let her go. As he turns to say to her some sort of lie, like, she hit me first, some sort of rubbish, it gave Mila enough time to sort of duck under his arm, run round, get to this lawyer's office and run in the door, and they obviously locked the door and stuff. So Wade's knowing, right, I'm in trouble now, so he goes off, he darts off. Police turn up. Obviously, Mila's a bit of a mess. The paramedics have to come. At one point when he'd been hitting her, he'd hit her in her nose so hard that it just exploded. So there's blood everywhere. She was a complete mess. So, like I say, when the police come, they take a statement from her. She gets all cleaned up and everything. So what she does, she phones Wade. And not on his number, but on the number he'd been contacting her. Remember I said she woke up to a load of messages from a number she didn't recognise. So she gets in touch with Wade and she's like, look, we need to talk this out. And she says, meet me at a restaurant. Now, this particular restaurant is opposite her spa and the lawyer's office, kind of on the opposite side of the road. She says, meet me there, we can talk. We'll talk it out. So when Wade turns up, he does come back, but when he turns up, the police are waiting for him, quite rightly so. So I've seen footage of this, and he's just sort of there in his car, and you can see he's quiet, he's quite irritable. You can see that. And the police officer sort of walks over quite nonchalantly, really, like he's just sort of seen him there. He's like, "What you doing? What you waiting for?" And he's like, "Oh, I'm just waiting for my girlfriend to come out." And the police officer's like, "Right, okay. I'm going to need you to take your keys out of the car." And then he realises, look, they're here for me. He gets a bit agitated. It does go on for a little while, but the end result is he drives off. He speeds off. So the police radio it in, and he radios what direction he's gone in. But what the police officer doesn't do is follow him. He follows him for a second, really, like a road. And when he's asked why he didn't pursue him or call it in or anything else, he just says, "Look, it was the middle of the day. I couldn't pursue him. There's too many cars on the road. It would have been more dangerous than what I believed was going on." Because don't forget, this police officer has been called for a domestic dispute. That's what he's been called for. So, as far as he can see, Wade's gone. He's gone away. Mila's okay. And they'd catch up with him at another day. I think that was his mind frame at the time. So, not too far from the restaurant around this time, okay, a man was dropping his child off at school, okay, and as he's dropping his child off around the school, there's like an elementary school, like a primary school, he sees a woman's purse, like a handbag, and he looks and he kind of sees all the stuff in it and whatnot. And in the elementary school, they've got like a security guard / police officer that's in the school. I don't know if he was there for some other reason or he's permanently there. I'm not too sure why there was a police officer there, but there was. So he hands it in to this police officer. Police officer looks in it and he finds the cards of a Diane Ruiz, okay, who's 43. So, this I was quite surprised at, but the police then find the address of this lady and go to her home. When they knock on the door, Diane's son answers, and he's like, "Is this your mum's purse? Is this your mum's stuff?" And he's like, "Well, yeah, but she worked at a place called the Moose Lodge. She was sort of a server there." And he goes, "She'll be there, but she'll probably need that bag." So the police are like, "Right, okay, we'll drop it off." Which again, I was quite surprised at. I just thought, I was surprised they didn't just leave it with him. But they don't. They go to the Moose Lodge and look for Diane. And they say she hasn't been in today. She didn't make it into work. And he says, "Is that usual?" He says, they're saying, "No, she's in every single day. And if she doesn't make it in, she always phones. This is really unusual." Police are starting to get a little bit suspicious now. They're like, "What's going on?" So they go back to Diane's home and they give the bag to her son. And they're just like, "Look, we've gone to the Moose Lodge. She didn't come in to work." So her son's like, "Right, I want to report her missing because this just isn't like my mum." Where she works is 10-15 minutes away walk. She normally gets an Uber, which is 5 minutes away, but sometimes she will walk, but it's still only 10-15 minutes away. So why didn't she make it? So he reports her missing. Okay. So now there's a lad called Joshua Jones. All right. All of this is going to come in it's all, I know it's quite confusing, but it'll all make sense in a second, okay? Joshua Jones, okay, it's one of Wade's friends, acquaintances, should I say. And he says Wade pulled up at his place of work, it's like a mechanic place. And Wade is covered in blood. He's got no shoes on, no socks on. And he keeps telling Joshua he's killed people. He's killed people and I've got to get away. So he's basically asking this Joshua for money for either a plane ticket or a train ticket or a coach ticket. I've got to get away. I've killed people. And there's blood all down him. So this Joshua's like, okay, just hang on there. Don't worry. Just chill, have a cigarette. I'll be back in a second. Joshua goes inside, straight on the phone to the police. I've got a guy here. He's half dressed, got blood all over him. He's telling me he's killed people. Okay. So, but before the police get there, Wade goes again. He leaves again. The police turn up and he's gone. They're missing him. They're not too sure what's going on. But what he does is, yes, he runs, but he doesn't take the car. Do you remember the Nissan? Doesn't take the car. So when the police turn up and Wade's not there, he's run on foot. He's got no shoes on. It's the oddest thing. They run a check on this Nissan, and the Nissan comes back to Christine Milton. Okay? Now, Christine Milton, obviously, if you remember, was the girl he'd spent the night with, who he'd met at the bar. Okay? That's whose car it is. So, they then strip the car because they found it belongs to Christine. So now they start looking in the car to see what they can find. There's 2 phones that are found in the car that Wade was driving. Christine Milton's, obviously, and it's her car. Also, Diane Ruiz, her phone's in there. So, we know it's not looking good. So, the officers go to Christine's home because obviously, the details are on the system because this is Christine's car. So they go to her home. And when they get there, they're sort of knocking on and everything, but they know all of this is bad now. He's claiming he's killed people. This is her car, her phone, and another woman's phone's been, left in the car. So they break in. They break into the home. Now, when they went through the living room and the kitchen, there's nothing there. There's nothing out of the ordinary. But as they walk into the hall, between the hall and the bedroom, there's like a pile. There's a pile of clothes and blankets just sort of pulled up in the oddest place, like in the middle of the hall. It just looks out of place. And they walk up and they start to move the clothes around, and they see a leg, a human leg, and what they could make out on there was quite an unusual tattoo. So they open it up. They know it's obviously Christine. Quite quickly, they know who it is. So the pathologist comes out. They take Christine away. They do the autopsy, and her cause of death was actually asphyxiation. She was strangled to death. But also on her body are some really bad injuries. She's got blunt force trauma so badly to her body that it's bruised her lungs and her liver, her brain swelling. She's got all this damage to her, and it's said that the damage was done, but that's not what killed her. The asphyxiation killed her. So she'd basically been beaten black and blue and then strangled to death. This poor girl. She just thought she'd met a nice guy. That's what she thought. Okay. So Wade calls his dad. Okay. Now, what I'll say about Wade's dad, him and Wade's mum actually had Wayne when they were 14. They were very young. They obviously weren't capable of looking after a baby at that point. They didn't feel. So Wade was adopted out to his biological dad's parents, so his grandparents' friends who they went to church with, and they adopted Wade. And it was said that for the most part, he had a really nice life. He had a really nice life. He was loved. He was treated very well. It was said once he got to about 13, it was then that he started to turn. He started dabbling in drugs. He started getting into trouble about that time. But for the most part, he'd had a really nice life and was very well loved. So when he turned about 18, though, he decided he wanted to get back in contact and start a relationship with his biological dad. So he does. He does. So it was his dad he called on this afternoon when all of this is going on. And he calls his dad, and the reason his dad was always a bit dubious of him is because the relationship he was having with him now wasn't trying to become like a father and son relationship. He was more, Wade would only really call him for money or to get stuff off him. He didn't really see him as a dad as such. It was just like, what can you give me? Because you weren't there all them years, so now you need to pay kind of thing. That's what I took from it. So on the phone call to his dad, he's quite het up. He's quite he's muttering, and basically he says, "I'm a killer," to his dad. And there's two people that are no longer with us. And his dad's all quite confused. And he's like, what are you talking about? And he just keeps saying, I'm a killer, I'm a killer. So his dad asks him, he's like, what are you talking about? Son, what's going on? And when talking about Christine, he says that after they'd slept together, and obviously after Stephanie had left, he said he was lying there and he was looking at her and she'd fell asleep. Christina, she'd fell asleep. And he was looking and he just thought, I could kill you. I could kill you. And you wouldn't be able to stop me. That's what went through his head. And he just thought, I'm going to do it then. So he does. This poor girl, believing there was someone in her home that she could trust. You know, all she had in that house was a cat who loved her. I mean, it was said that the cat was still lying beside her until the police got there. And he just decided to take her life for no reason. She was said to be such a lovely, lovely woman, such a lovely girl, very kind-hearted. And yeah, she just didn't see a wrong gun. And no one in all these names I've given to you really, really could be prepared for what this man was capable of. None of them believed that that was something he could do. So he says to his dad, yeah, she'd fell asleep, explains what happened. But do you want to know how he described her? There was no remorse when he's talking to his daddy, just because I choked that bitch. No remorse. Quite proud. Quite, it was good. He was said he was more or less bragging. He was bragging. This wasn't like, hey, I've got to get this out. I've got to get this off my conscience. And whatever happens, happens. No. He was quite proud. And it was said that he thought he could impress his dad, maybe. Maybe get a job. Get a job. Get married. You know, buy yourself a beautiful home. You know, do something that's really impressive to your parents. Not, I choke the bitch out. What? Right. Okay. So then his dad says, right, okay, so you said there was two. He said, two people are no longer with us. He says, yeah. He says, well, I was driving along and because I'd done it once, I knew I could do it again. So I was driving along and there was this woman. The woman obviously happens to be Diane Ruiz, woman who was just got taken herself to work. She had nothing to do with any of this whatsoever. She had no relation to any of the people I've spoke to you about this evening. She's just walking along, going to work. That's all she was doing. And what he did, he pulled up beside her and he asked her for directions to the elementary school. Remember the primary school I mentioned? And she's giving him directions and sort of describing it to him. But he says, I'll tell you what, can you get in? Can you get in the car and just show me? Because I'm really bad at taking direction. You know, I don't know how he managed to get her in the car, but he did. She got in the car. But he says, as he was driving, he could tell she was starting to get a little bit antsy. You could see she was getting a little bit concerned that it wasn't what he said it was. So he said he could tell she wanted to get out the car. So he just punched her, leant over, and started to choke her. While he's driving, then he pulls over. You know the guy who can't drive? He pulls over, continues to choke this woman, and he thinks he's killed her. So he's pulling over into now like it's like they're calling it an empty lot. I could be wrong, but I'm thinking that's like a car park, like an empty car park, like an old car park that's surrounded by woodland. There's that woodland again. And he says when he pulls over, he realises she's still breathing. She's still alive. And he gets out and he throws her out the car. But she tries to get up. So she's still alive at that point. So he gets into the car. Now this description's awful, I'm going to warn you. It's awful. But when he's seen her trying to get up, he gets back into the car and he reverses over her. And then he drives forward and then he reverses again. Then he drives forward and he does this 10 to 20 times. And he says to his dad, do you know what? She actually looked like spaghetti. Oh, just vile human being. 10 to 20 times he drove over her head and her body. Spaghetti, really. That was your description. Just vile, absolutely vile. And like I say, his dad said there was no remorse whatsoever. There was no remorse when he was talking about it at all. Like I say, he was bragging. So his dad gets off the phone and he calls the police straight away. So I don't know what he thought his dad was going to do. Because everyone he's gone to, whether it be Mila or his friend Joshua or now his dad, they've all called the police on him. So I don't know what sort of loyalty he thought he would have with these people, that they would just listen to him describing how he's murdered two innocent women for nothing and that they wouldn't phone the police. It's crazy to me. Um, so when the dad was asked, why did you phone the police? Why did you do that? He says, I couldn't risk him doing it again. He knew he'd done it. He could tell he was serious on the phone, and he couldn't risk it happening again. So what his dad knew at the point where Wade had called him to, confess everything, Wade had said he was at a house, and basically Wade had broken into a family home not too far away. He'd broken into a family home, and luckily, the family at that particular point were away in Ohio. Like, just luckily, he'd gone in there, he'd done himself some food and drink and put on some clothes of the owners, really made himself perfectly at home. And so what his dad says is, look, I want to help you. I'm going to come over in an Uber. We're going to talk about this. Give me the address and I'll be over. And he believed him. He believed him and gave his dad the address to this house he was in. So, of course, his dad didn't turn up. His dad sent the police. So the police all turn up. He refuses to come out at first, when he sees them all pull up. But eventually, he gives himself up. All right, eventually. So even at this point, Diane was still missing. Okay, so a couple of days are going by. But on the 9th of October, so she's been missing for 3 days at this point. On the 9th of October, she is found and it's 2 police officers that are searching the area, and they said they saw like a vulture, look, going around the area, like where they were searching, like up in the sky. And they said they sort of looked at each other and were like, we better go and have a look. And they looked in that area, and yes, they found Diane, and this was the Cape Coral Police Department. And at this point, even though it had only been 3 days, she was going through advanced decomposition. So at this point, the skin was basically slipping off. And what it was is the bugs and animals that were in the bugs in the bark, and the animals had been eaten away at sort of her face and her body. Her ears had been removed, her nose had been removed. It was really, really sad. Obviously, her family couldn't go and identify her by this point. It was just very, very sad. What they noticed straight away, that she did have a fractured nasal bone, and when the autopsy was done, and they could, obviously they couldn't see visually here what had happened, but they could see inside that she had multiple rib fractures. She had a severe laceration under a left boob. She had hemorrhaging around the membrane of her first and second cervical vertebrae. He just destroyed this woman for nothing. For absolutely. She was just, I hate that saying, I hate the saying, wrong place, wrong time. But this really was the wrong place, wrong time. It's just very, very sad. Scott Anon, which is the fiance of Diane, he when you'd hear him talking about her, he said that she'd phoned him earlier on that day, saying that she didn't think I'd given her a kiss goodbye that morning. And when he was asked, well, did you? He broke down. He was like, of course I did. It's quite upsetting to watch his testimony of it, because he can't hold it together. He could not hold it together at all. It's very, very sad. Now, Wade himself, he'd actually confessed to the murders. Do you want to know what in exchange for? He confessed to the murders in exchange for burger and fries. He wanted burger and fries, and then I'll confess all to you all. The interrogation of him, it's unwatchable, not because of him being disgusting, which he is. It's just, it's physically unwatchable. You can't watch his interrogation, which I'd have loved to have watched, to be honest. I'd love to have just heard him speak, because all I've been watching for the past couple of weeks on this guy is him in the trial, and he's dressed like the Joker. When I hear the Joker, I always think of Heath Ledger in the second Batman. Batman Returns, is it? But no, it was the Joker with Phoenix, that Phoenix lad, bloke. And, you know, he's got that blue suit on. That's what he's got on, like a bright blue suit. I think it's a yellow tie, red tie. And basically, when all this had happened, he didn't have these face tattoos. So in the trial, everyone that was testifying against him basically got a shock, because, like I say, now his face is just covered. He's got like sort of white supremacist tattoos. He's got this sort of Chelsea Green tattoo here, like you know, like you draw like as a zombie here. But it just looks stupid because he's got it here as well. So are you a zombie? Are you being like Joker? What are you? What are you trying to be? You're very confused. So he just looks like an utter prat, to be honest. Now the prosecution, the trial, he pled not guilty. How? I know how his defence was. It was drugs and it was life, and I didn't know what I was doing, and I can't remember it, or, you know, all the usual rubbish. What I will say about the prosecution herself, there was a couple, but there was a woman. Oh my God, the most annoying female I think I've ever watched. And she was the prosecution. So I wanted to like her. I wanted to think, yes, you're doing a good job. Oh, it was like she was auditioning for a very, very cheesy sitcom. Or like, you know, them American shows like Dynasty or Dallas or Days of Your Lives. It felt like she was auditioning for one of them. Very, very frustrating trial to watch, to be honest, at the end. But what she did say is what he'd said to the police. He basically described himself as, I'm a lion and they were the prey. Ugh, it's just disgusting, isn't it? The defence themselves were blaming a drug called Flacker that apparently he'd taken. It wasn't cocaine, it was Flacker. What they were trying to do is not defend that he'd killed these two ladies and beat his ex-girlfriend into, you know, within an inch of her life. They weren't trying to defend that. What they were trying to stop happening was the charge of premeditation. They wanted second degree murder. It's just saying that you are depraved, but it's not premeditated. And that's what they wanted. They were admitting it was depraved. They were admitting he murdered these women. They admitted he did everything he was accused of. But it was the drugs. And so therefore it couldn't be premeditated. And so therefore you can't go for the death penalty. Basically, that's what all the defence was about, really. There was actually a part of the defence where you heard the one lawyer talking to the other one when they had to cross-examine. I think it was the pathologist, and you hear him whisper going, I don't know what to say. I don't know what to ask him. Do you want to ask anything? Like, they were just riding the trial out to just try and get to the end where they could say, right, okay, he has done all that, but it wasn't premeditated, so let's go for second degree, yeah? Prosecution, of course, aren't bending. No one's bending. And in June 2024, he's found guilty of 2 counts of first degree murder plus the burglary of the home. And on the around about of the newspaper reports of the 30th of August 2024 might have happened a couple of days beforehand, or it could have been on the 30th. I've been trying to find the exact date, but he's sentenced to death. Yay! You know, I always get very excited when that's how it ends. Very exciting, good enough for him. When the sentence was read out and the death penalty was read out, there was just nothing at all. There was nothing coming from him. There was no emotion whatsoever from this guy. He just, oh, you've got to look at him. Please go away and look at him, because he's just disgusting. He just makes my skin crawl. And you can just see, he just looks so arrogant, like, oh, this is all beneath me. This is just so beneath me. You know, all the tattoos he's got on his face would insinuate he's part of a gang. Apparently he's not. Apparently he's not affiliated to any gang in there. And the tattoos he's got are looked at, they're frowned upon by the prison population. If you've got a tattoo you haven't earned. Like an honour amongst thieves type deal. I don't know. Let's just hope that he gets a good kicking because of having those tattoos. Let's just hope that. Before he gets his sentence. That's what I'm hoping. Well, his death sentence, I mean. So yeah, that was the Deadpool killer, Wade Wilson. And that was Kelly's story this evening. Ugh, just a horrible guy, wasn't it? You've got to have a look at him. You have to have a look at him. He's just awful, horrible. Oh, and did I mention at the beginning that he's got like a fan club? And women like writing to him and throwing themselves at him. It's like, oh my God, what is wrong with these women? So, yes, that was the Deadpool story, Wade Wilson. Thank you so much for joining me. Like I say, I'm here on a Tuesday and a Thursday at 8 p.m. every week. If you'd like to, if you've got a request, that can be done on a Tuesday. Otherwise, you can join us on a Thursday with any stories that I found for you. If you want to join my Patreon, it's patreon.com/Jess Rose 5472. I'd really appreciate that. Or you can just like, comment and subscribe. That'd be great too. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm going to have a little chat with the guys in the comments. But thank you so much for joining me. And maybe next time you might want to come and join us on the live. So thank you all so much. Thank you. How are we all doing in there? Have you seen him? Did you have a look at him? Oh, he's just fine. And what are you on about? What was you chatting about in there? Honestly, I did so well. And then I felt myself being thrown up. I held it together. At one point, I was like, no, keep the cheeks down. So, but no, have you seen him? He's just awful. Thank you though, Warwick. Oh, it's just awful looking fella. It really is. Did I notice Kelly had come in? Did she stay or did she have to go? I did notice she'd come in. Oh, you are there. Hey, Kelly, was that okay? There was so much. I was saying before you came in, I think if I'd have gone into all the very small details, I would have had to have done a part 2. And I didn't think it affected the story, the little bits, like just the comments in the trial. Like I did sort of give a overview of those because I just thought it doesn't really make a difference to the story. Oh, do I have to? Why? Ugh. Okay. Okay. It's a request, so I can't say no, but oh God. Oh, just don't know how I feel about her. And it's all just gonna come across on my face. I don't know how. Yes, okay. You're gonna have to leave it with me though, because I haven't. I followed her for a second and then I was getting really. I have to stretch it. I'd have to stretch it. The story. Is he being rude? Have I missed something? Have I missed something? I don't know what he means. Look, there's that buzzing again that you're hearing. Oh, really, Hayley? You as well? Oh, it's just awful. It's just. Do you know what it is? If I'd have done it, if I'd have done the story before she'd been released, say, I could. That'd have been fine. I'm not bending, but I'm ducking, ducking and dodging. I've obviously. Oh, okay. All right. Seeing as it's obviously a dual request now. Ugh. And it's my moderator, so I have to do it. It's just since she's got out, I'm just like, oh God, I can't. I don't know how I feel about it. No, I know she is. So why are you making me do it? But I'll do it. I'll do it for you. I've just gotta look into what she's been up to because I think after the first couple of months, I had to come away from it because I just thought, oh, you're awful. Oh, you're just awful. I know what you went through, and I'm not taking away from it, but it's just like, ugh. Okay, all right. So we can say how we really feel. Okay, that's fine. I'll do that on Tuesday. Is there anyone else I'm missing? Is there anyone else before yours? Does anyone else want to put their hands up there before that story? Raise your hand. Raise your hand if you've asked me for one beforehand. Come on. Come on, raise your hand. No one to speak. No, I am Jesus. You are the Messiah. You get to choose. Oh, okay, all right, all right. We can do that next Tuesday. We can do that. Ugh, I can do it. I suppose it was going to have to be done sooner or later. I'm pretty sure I've been asked a couple of times. I've kind of just avoided it or just pretended that, oh, what was that? Oh, no. That sounds like I've done that often. Genuinely, I do forget a lot of the time, but that one, I kind of just sort of just phased it out like I'd forgot. You did, Warwick. Did you? This one. Well, ask for another one. Like now. So it can be bumped. Did you ask for the was it you that mentioned it? Maybe it was you that I just moved on from then, Warwick, because it's not intentional. It's just and it's not many. It's not many. I know it's been asked. I do know it has. So I know I've got to do it. I know you will. I'm sure you will. Yeah, I think I just there's not many stories, but every now and again I'm like, oh, I don't want to do this one. But of course I will because that's what I do. It's a request live, so I'll always do them. But yeah, there's just some I'm like, because I'm not going to be very overly sympathetic. I don't think I will be to her early life. Don't get me wrong. It was unforgivable. It is unforgivable. But we won't get into it. We'll save it for the day. We'll save it for the day. You are the siren. You are the siren. Oh, so she's not what was she the other day? What was she called the other day? I am the Almighty Mighty Sir. You're a dickhead. Didn't say that. Rewind. Erase. I didn't say that. So carried away when I'm talking to you. Oh, I've lost my train of thought now. After that, I've completely lost my train of thought there. Um, what was you did break me, you broke me then. Oh yeah, the siren. What was you calling her the other day though? Or me? Oh, Sue Pollard. No, it was me. It wasn't her, it was me, wasn't it? Sue bleeding Pollard. Told my mum and you as well. Told my mum what you said because she didn't see it on the night and I told her and she says, no, you are not. You are beautiful. So I'm going to listen to my mum because my mum says I'm beautiful. So that's it. I am. I'm not listening to Sue Pollard. I'm not having it. Anyway, what was I going to say? Oh, come back. Come back. Just keeps disappearing. Just keeps disappearing away. Where's Kelly gone again? She's very quiet tonight. She's very quiet this evening. No, you're not. You're beautiful. I am beautiful. I am. Mum told me. Mum says I'm beautiful and I'm not like Sue Pollard. So, there you go. I wish she was here. She'd bollock you right now, Warwick. She'd tell you off. But on that note, because my boy goes to secondary school tomorrow. Oh, God. Look, I'm not happy. I'm not happy about the whole thing. I'm not coping very well with it. But I do have to get him settled, I suppose. Vicky Pollard. Well, that's worse. That's not. Is that the nobody yet? I was about to go, no. I can't say anything now because no matter what I say, it's going to be, no, but yeah, we're not. We can't even talk about Vicky Pollard anymore, can we? She's been banned. And as Catherine Tate, I don't know who Catherine Tate has been, but I know Little Britain's gone. That's gone. That's been wiped off, hasn't it? I can't believe when they wiped that off Netflix. I just thought, pathetic. Pathetic. But no sense of humours anymore. I don't know what's going on here. I've got like my granddad's comb over here going on. You know the Rabsy Nesbitt sort of comb over. Rabsy Nesbitt? Oh, that's my Scottish accent. That's what that was. Everyone's going to be like, what was that noise? Don't do that again. Okay. Right, I'm going to let you all go. Oh, thank you, Phil. Thank you. Oh, thanks, sis. Hayley got banned ages ago. They banned it ages ago because it was the snowflakes, weren't it? You were Aphrodite. This was a backhanded compliment. How, though? How would that be a compliment? But Aphrodite, I'm taking that, Warwick. I'm taking that. But I feel like you're only saying that now because I told my mum. And you know she's going to come and get you. So that's why you've got to be like, no, you're not. Sue Pollard, actually. She was actually a really attractive woman. I've seen her. You can't do it. Yeah, but no, Oh, God, yes. Okay, I'll stick with Sue Pollard over Vicky. I'm going to have to stick with her over Vicky, unfortunately. But I think it might be jingle time, guys. I think we might be at that time. So if you could go in and like and comment the video afterwards, I'd really appreciate it because I don't know what's going on with my videos, but I feel like I'm being shafted again with them and I don't know why. But if you could go in and like and comment afterwards, I'd really appreciate it. Yeah, but shut up. I feel like something's going on. So if you could like and comment on it, even if you just write comment, just write here, just something, I'd really appreciate it. My stars do it all the time, Warwick and Phil. And yes, I think the other day, Tiffany, you did come in and you did write a few. I did see, and Sharon. But yes, if you could do that for me, I'd really appreciate it. If you want to join my Patreon, it's patreon.com/Jess Rose 5472. Or you can like, comment, subscribe, guys. Like, comment, and subscribe. I'd really appreciate it. Like, comment, subscribe on my videos. Sounding like me then, Jess. Stutter. Oh, what is it? Today, you Junior. Oh, no. Look, comment, subscribe, guys. Look, comment. comment, subscribe. Really appreciate it. But I'll see you all Thursday. Thank you, Phil and Warwick and Tiffany and Hayley. And I'm going. And Kelly and Hayley, I've said. I didn't notice anyone else this evening, but Natalie's been on tonight, or Sharon. Anyone else that I've forgotten, thank you so much for joining me this evening. I'm back at 8 o'clock on Thursday if you'd like to join us in the live. Thank you all so much again. Look, comment and subscribe, guys. Look, comment and subscribe. I'd really appreciate it.